been thinking about all these different things for a lot of today about what I wanted, well, what I was going through. And then I thought, well, this is actually my YouTube channel is about sharing my journey of what how I'm uh, so thriving, surviving, and thriving. So I'm not really quite exactly sure where to start, but my title is Love, Kindness, Compassion is a Superpower. So one of the things, I've been reading lots of articles for a really long time. I've been, for years and years and years, I've been learning about philosophy, psychology, philosophy, emotional intelligence, uh, empowered self-empowerment, Christian Bible study now, and everything in the Bible that's about self-love. And so basically, and this all started when my eldest son was quite young, because he is a self-proclaimed functioning sociopath. When he was younger, he was just such a difficult child in every way, and I won't go into the details of that right now. And so I started doing a lot of learning how to parent him, because it was like next level. Like, it was really difficult trying to work out communication techniques to get through to him to accept certain things. And obviously, as he's gotten older and I've gotten older, we understand it's a frontal lobal disorder of not being able to comprehend emotion or categorize emotion the same way other people do, and just a super high IQ, like super highly intelligent, which lack of emotional categorization and super high intelligence made him a very challenging person. He saw through the veils of everything, like so gifted, can see through the veils of everything. So, and I wanted him to really feel the love. He had to somehow work it out on a theoretical basis before he could comprehend what it was. It was very challenging, very challenging. Debated everything to the nth degree. Um, it's really interesting because I had a psychology counselling session the other day. It was through a job provider network. There was a 4-day workshop, and it was basically a tax rort just to keep all those people in the job provider job. They all got a job basically not doing much for us, the people that they're supposedly employed to help. And everyone felt the same way. No, not everyone, but everyone who voiced their opinion felt the same way. Anyways, the point of the story is I took advantage of the psychologist that I found out later was just a therapist, so I don't even know what his training is actually. Because when I said, I'm halfway through my psychology degree, kudos to you, it's the hardest degree ever. He looked at me like he didn't know what I was talking about, and I went, oh, you're actually not a psychologist, are you? Just professed that you were. But he said, how do you view psychologists, is what he said. He didn't say, I'm a psychologist. So then I realised, then when he told me in the room, I told him about the psychology degree and what it taught me. He goes, oh, well, I'm actually a therapist. So I went, right. So you can get a therapy certificate in 6 weeks. So that really annoyed me. But anyways, what actually happened was I also took advantage of the opportunity to delve into a concept that was coming up for me during that 4-day workshop, which was integrity around studying, learning. I don't know if I've always had it, but I feel like I've always had it. This high integrity, like high work ethics, high study ethics. It's a perfectionist tendency in me. It's just I want it's like an honor. If I'm going to have a certificate, I want to be properly trained in what I've got the certificate for. When I'm learning something, I want to really learn it to the nth degree. I When I work somewhere, I treat it like it's my own business, and just one of the most best workers you could ever have. I do the job of 3 or 4, up to 5 people. I remember one job I had, all these people went out on a smoko break and they left me to run a whole restaurant, excluding the food cooking, of course, but all of the barista work, taking orders, taking the food out, cleaning the tables. Oh gosh, oh yeah, the alcohol sales. They left me like that for about 30 or 40 minutes. There was about six of them, I think, outside in the all having a cigarette, right? And then they come back in about 40 minutes later, and I didn't have any time to run out to get them because there was lines of people to serve, to take orders of, lines of people to take the food out. and they come back and go, "Oh, what you managed? How'd you manage?" Like they just thought they were just being really mean. They went, "Oh, she's so good at a job. We'll have a quick cigarette." And then they just thought, "Oh, that's really leaving the shit." They didn't really care about the business, right? And they came back, and I had basically a full restaurant of people being served. No one had to wait very long, and half the tables were cleared. People weren't waiting that long for their coffees either, because that's how efficient I am, that fast. And they just went, whoa, 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 what? You managed this all on your own? Like, there was 30 or 40 people in the restaurant. I thought, yeah, that's what happens when you actually do the job. You know, it's just do. And I said to everyone, I really apologise. I'm actually here on my own at the moment. I didn't go into detail about why I was there on my own. And they could make formal complaints to the company. Go, why was just there one person front of house, one person running the whole restaurant? So, you know, that's how truth comes out too. So I didn't need to say anything to management. I didn't need to even say anything to the workers. I just did the job. When they all came back, I quickly went off and had some water, and I think I went to the toilet or something just to have a bit of a breather because it was high stress. But I've had lots of experiences like that, and just realised, wow, I've got a work ethic that very few people have. I've got a study ethic that very few people have. I've got a dedication and a loyalty that seems like very few people have. And I'm 52, 53 actually in 16 days. It's my birthday on the 19th of June. So I'm turning 53. And I've just been doing a lot of self-revelations about my high standards of myself and of others. And of course this creates for me to feel, I will completely admit that there are times where I felt really let down, disappointed by others. I'm thinking, where is your integrity? Where's your honour? Where's your loyalty? Where's your pride in doing a good job, or being a person that honours your word? Or they're the things that have at times really got me down in the past. Recently at this 4-day workshop, which was just a tax rort, just an absolute tax rort, just such a tax rort. Like, I haven't yet met a job provider agency that actually does anything to actually help people get employment or study. It's really weird. It's one, and they're it's almost like one of the job descriptions is, can you be lazy, and also how inefficient can you be, or how are you prepared to take money for not doing much? Because yeah, I just couldn't do a job like that where I wasn't working or doing what my job scope was actually in the job description actually described. Anyways, I was talking to the therapist psychologist about some various issues about my integrity and honor around study, and yeah, started to say a few other things. And this guy then says, well, you're very likely a genius. I said, what makes you say that? And he goes, well, geniuses, that they often have quite tragic lives. They don't fit in the system. And the only way a genius can really get their mark made on the system is to create their own way. And I sort of did this little Frank Sinatra, my way. I said, thanks for that, because I've had a lot of people in my life say things like, and he basically to this said, well, you've got to let that one, that's just people just, we all know about the tall poppy syndrome. So what I said, I said, you know, throughout my life, when I've dared to dream and share my dreams and act on my dreams and take those big leaps of faith, and all these different situations where I'm making life as good as it can be, making it better, making it amazing. Got this big calling, this big vocation. I want to make it amazing. I have had a slather of comments and attitudes that go roughly like this: what makes you think you could do that? Uh, aren't you being a bit idealistic? Being a bit big headed there, aren't you? Oh, um, I can't think of some of the other comments. Never, people haven't used the word arrogant, but they use the word like dreaming too much, dreaming too high, having too lofty ideals, putting too many hard expectations and ideals onto myself, setting myself up for a big fall. Like really negative comments. It's like, and it's taken me and then some of these people would even turn around and say, why can't you just live with what you got? Why can't you be happy with what you have? Why can't you be happy with the status quo? Why do you have to be so, yeah, why do you have to be so hard on yourself? Like, so me being driven and motivated, they would say, why being so hard on yourself? It's like, well, I'm not being hard on myself. Like, seriously, I was illiterate when I was 12. I learned how to read and write within 3 months. Within 3 months, I learned how, from completely illiterate, couldn't write even a single letter, to become top of the class within linguistics. Partially because I was hot house as well, so we need to add that in with flashcards and everything. Like the teacher took me under as she took me on as her project, and so she was doing a lot of flashcards and hot housing. So it wasn't just a normal learning environment. However, my brain was completely ready to receive the information. So I went from completely literate to top of the class spelling wise and vocabulary wise and grammar, and just why? Because it's an aptitude of mine. I love it. It's an innate strength. I'm a wordsmith. That's just how I am. Is it where does that come from? Is it the ingrained Fey Celtic magicness in me? Is it just I wasn't given books? Didn't grow up around books or language. It's just something really innate in me. Maths is a weak area though, completely weak. But someone else could have gone 12 years of not learning maths and picked it up in 3 months. So I realised you don't necessarily have to learn maths by rote. It's just got to be that language that you have inside of you. Maths is a language, it's a pattern. So, yeah, I was doing a lot of learning around this self-reflection of who I am. Who I am, what I am, who I am not. I'm tired of being defined by people trying to limit me and tell me what I can't do, what's what like, to the point where I don't really want to be around people that much. Like I find people really exhausting because I find that most people are really limited in their viewpoints of themselves, of others, of the world. I find that people go to the negative really quickly. Like the amount of people that do got negative talk, I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you waste our time and your breath and this moment talking about something negative? Why can't we discuss something that's uplifting? And it's funny because when you say that to someone, you go, oh, okay, what's an example? Someone might start talking about the economy, the fact that we're in a depression. And I'll go, how beautiful is this day? Like, look at this beautiful, beautiful day we're living in. And I'll say, sometimes, I don't say this all the time, I want to say it, so we can turn on a tap and there's water. But I don't say that. But I say things like, I just feel so blessed. I feel so blessed about, I said, in Australia, it's impossible to starve. It's really impossible to starve because we do have vouchers, and one we've got, I don't need to go into detail about this on this channel, but, we've got a social security system in Australia. It's not the best, and it's full of discrimination. There's massive corruption there, and obviously the biggest tax dependent people of all are the politicians. The biggest whatever they are. There's just nothing. I had to learn. It took me years to learn that it's okay to get social security support when you need it. A lot of people won't receive it. They feel too ashamed to take it because they think they're a leech on the system. The biggest leech on the system is politicians. The biggest leech of all. And people don't really want to ever talk about that. The trickle up system. They don't want to talk about that. A lot of people don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about putting down the. Oh, just come on, go on solutions, please. I'm so tired of people doom and glooming. It just exhausts me. And the other thing is I get tired of people being superficial. Really tired of people being superficial. And something I've come to realize about myself is I'll just keep being me. I'll just keep being me wherever I go. But I realize me being me, I'm always going to be misjudged for being kind. Like people, they misjudge kindness as weakness, or what can we get out of this person, or this person has no boundaries, or if you're loving and compassionate, and if you want to talk about real stuff, they sometimes might even want to say you're controversial, or you're just trying to make drama or problems. It's like, why? Why? Because we're having an intellectual debate. What? And you don't understand the concept. So rather than just say, oh, I don't quite understand that. Oh, yeah, that's how I felt before as well. And then I start asking lots of questions or listening to all these different people. And that's the humbleness. The humbleness comes from being fine with not knowing. A lot of people are so scared to say, actually, I don't know. I, I actually don't know. I'd like to learn. Or, wow, that's quite interesting. I have this beautiful friend, and when she doesn't understand something, and she's feeling like she can't stay in the conversation, she go, "Can we talk about something that we can both be equally involved in?" I said, "For sure." So that's her way of saying, Nadine, I don't understand this topic enough to enjoy continuing it with you, or to be able to contribute to it. And I said to her, that's the best way, the most beautiful way you could ever say, could we please change the topic? Can we please discuss something that we can both equally contribute to? What a perfect way to say it. And the other day she said, we're having this discussion, and I said, as I've said before, she goes, Nadina, you keep saying that, and I know you've said it before, and I know it frustrates you, but Nadina, I can't take information on like you do. And I said, yeah, okay, I've got to be softer with you on that. And it's like, I'm sorry. I just, I just get so frustrated sometimes. I feel so lonely sometimes because I found out the other day that I'm potentially a genius. I'm definitely really highly intellectual. My father's the same, my son's the same. I don't know, probably my mother as well, but I might have hidden it. I don't know, like, I was talking to a therapist about it. It's actually a bit of a curse because you just don't fit in. You just don't belong anywhere. It's like, uh, that's what makes the life of a highly intelligent / genius person so excruciatingly lonely because I picked things up when I was 6. Stuff that now people are starting to talk about, even when I was 8. I started talking about stuff when I was 6, 7, and 8 that's gone on the news about the internet and news started talking, not the news as in the main media, but people started talking about these things that I became aware of when I was in my young teens earlier. Like, it was so obvious to me what was going on. I won't go into the details of what they all are now, but just so many, so many areas of life that I could see. And someone said to me, if you're in politics, you'd just be able to just come up with the most amazing solutions so quickly. I said I would be able to because they're so obvious. Yet you've got to deal with all the. I couldn't. That's the problem. People who can perceive things really quickly and are very solution based get thwarted and squashed by the system really well. They're too efficient, and they are for the people and humanity and the world and the environment and animals. They're not for the econ. I mean, all that ties in with the economy, right? We don't just have to be focusing on money. A lot of people in certain positions, really, they're just focusing about money. They're focusing about their own pocket. They're focusing about they're really super. A lot of them are so superficial. They focus just on their popularity, likes, and I listened to this amazing article today, and this lady goes, I don't care about my likes and my subscriptions. I'm here to get a point out. That's how I feel. I was like, yeah! And she turned her comments off. She said, I'm going to turn the comments off on this particular topic because I'm going to just, she goes, I'm going to be raw. I was like, oh, yeah, go you, go you. I'm going to be raw. Just I'm being guided to be raw, and I've been guided to share with you. I've been guided, if I go rawer and deeper and more authentic, I'll be able to get this message across deeper. And then she went quite raw and deep, and she shared something that made a lot of sense. And because she gave her personal account, and she was truthful, and she's come from a place of humility, and she wants to be there to give her message to the people that she's been guided to give out her voice, her whatever it is that she's been guided to give. She was guided to go that bit deeper, that bit rawer. And I've noticed more and more YouTubers are doing this. They're guided to be more truthful, more honest. It takes a lot of courage to be really honest, because society really doesn't like honesty. Society does not want people to be honest. They don't want an honest society. That's why you've got so much superficiality and so much vanillism and so much narcissism in this society. And you'll find that the people who are doing really well are the lazy ones, the ones with lack of integrity, the ones who are prepared to go to work and not do much but get the pay pack and go, yep, that's an easy job. And then what do they do with their money? What? Buy alcohol, buy chocolate, go shopping with clothes that they don't need. Like, yuck. What about work? Sorry, I'm not even going to pass judgment on that. I can't. It just I'm actually disgusted by that mentality. But however, what I realise is that it's the majority. It's the majority of society, and it's the majority of people in the workforce. And it shattered me. It was last week. I got shattered. I got shattered by how many people are prepared to work just for money and not actually do anything, not actually do anything of substance. It's like, what a waste of a life. And I came to realise, me and other people like me, we have a really hard time in this society because we want to be doing something with our moments, our seconds, our life. We want to be a contribution to the world. We want to give something to the world. We don't just take. I would never do a job that involved me to do nothing or very little. I just wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I'd rather starve. I would rather not have a job than do a job where I have to pretend like, where I went in and, sorry, it's just, I just got shut off. So I just said something. I don't know how long I've been off for. Yep. That's vanillism. So I said something that YouTube didn't like just then. I wonder if I'm back on. Yeah, yeah, and that's what they're all talking about as well. They're all talking about how there's so many words you cannot say on social media. One word, like just then, it shut me off. I don't know for how long. Probably saying that the thing about the people who get the most amount of taxpayers' money for doing very nothing. Oh, it's madness. Tell you what, you want to challenge yourself with our society? Start your own YouTube channel. Realise how quickly it gets silenced for saying something that's just a normal topic. Like, we can't even talk about the peas, the little peas out there, rorting the taxpayers' system with their credit card perks and quirks and getting their pensions after 4 years of doing whatever, which is very little. Rah, rah. Seriously, integrity. But anyways, back to the point. Yes, you pick up the anger, you pick up the frustration. It's exhausting. I'm exhausted right now. I don't know if you can see it in my eyes. I just find life so hard. Like, I've got my work clothes on because I was hoping that I could get motivated to do so much to do on this property. Way more than one person can do, and it always overwhelms me. I'm getting some help. You hear those birds, and then I always notice the joys. I'm out here in the sun at the moment, and I thought, do I or do I not do a YouTube? I'll tell you why I felt like I had to do a YouTube. This isn't the culprit, the one you're about to see, but this is the... I'm trying to just turn this thing around. It won't let me. Okay, so, sorry, for some reason it's not switching around. So, Xena is not the culprit of this. No, don't worry, Xena, you're not the culprit. But see this here, alright? That's actually Alvin, and you'll notice he's missing because I can't even talk to him right now. This is Zena's. She dug all these. Oh, sorry, that's just the honey I'm trying to give to the birds. Basically, that was dug all the way out. She killed all that. She killed heaps of my plants. But this daybed has been destroyed by Alvin. And this morning, and then he was ripping this up. And then basically what happened was 5 o'clock this morning, I let them out. We were having really, really cold nights in Northern, and I basically have enough wood for one more night tonight, and then that's it. I don't even know what to do about wood at the moment, and I guess we'll just be going to bed early or something. I don't know. I can tell you right now, this house is freezing when there's no fire on. I let the fire go out this morning, and already the inside of the house is really cold. But anyways, the point of the story is I let the dogs out for their wee and poo and everything, because the other morning I thought I could let them out at 7, and I woke up and there was wees and poos in the kitchen, and it's just yucky. So I let them out, and I thought, oh, I'm going back to bed. I'm going to be out there for a while. The sun's up. I know it's a bit brisk and chilly, but I'll open the side gate so I can get access to the deck. And then when I got up to feed them breakfast, Alvin had done more chewing of the daybed. And I just looked at the fluff, and he looked at me. This look on my face and my energy made him go. He went scampering down the steps and running away. And then when I went to feed him, he slinks up, and I just wouldn't even talk to him, just put his food down. I was like, so over the destruction, hey? So he's out the back. I haven't even said anything to him. He knows he just can feel it. I'm just so over the destruction. That fluff you can see is actually a mattress protector that someone gave me to cover up the daybed cushion that Alvin ripped up a really long time ago. This is supposed to be a nice shared area. Doona cover on top, mattress protector and doona cover to just so it can be nice. So he rips up the doona cover, rips up the mattress protector. I'm just like, what? Do I just not let you guys on the deck? I know that's a side issue, but the reason why I've done this YouTube is because that daybed being ripped up just does my head in. It's just like too much. It's just too much to do in this house. And then I went to come out to have a coffee out here, and it's like ripped up, yucky. And it's like that everywhere. Like these dogs, the damage that they don't do it all the time. They're not that destructive, but I just realised, wow, I must be really quite run down or something, because that workshop, they crap on, oh, what does he want to do? Well, I'm creating my own business. Oh, we could enroll you in a self-business management course. That would be wonderful, thank you. And there was 2 other people. And then where's this self-employment business course? Oh, we don't know when it's going to run. We just need enough numbers. We got 3 people in this room right now. You've had us here from 8:30 to 2:30, Monday to Thursday. For what? Like, why don't you actually give us something? Like, I'd love to do this self-business management course. Why aren't they providing that? Why aren't they stepping up? But they're just walking around taking little notes. What is it that you want to do? I said, well, I've already let you know. I'm setting up my husband's and my home. We bought a beautiful property, which is going to be, we're creating self-sufficiency, like from the therapy business, and he was always going to do music. So I need to learn the legalities around, like I already know I can get it on my own back with there's small business courses down in Perth, but these people were paid. 6 to 8 people were paid to run these courses, and they couldn't even provide the bare basics of what 3 people in a group of 10 needed. And then there's all these, like the farmer who's given me his number and said he'll help me out. His story is atrocious, man. He's like self-parenting his 7-year-old granddaughter, just about to have a life of retirement, go travelling. And now he's looking after a 7-year-old granddaughter. And because his assets are too high, they won't give him the pension, and now they expect him to work because he's on getting he's getting some money for this grandchild. They're expecting this 70-year-old to do full-time work. Going, oh, what is it that you want to do? Well, actually, wow, I'm just trying to get grasp with the fact I'm bringing up a little 7-year-old, and for the rest of my life now I've got this little young person to look after, and my whole life's just changed course. Like, just because his daughter has, in a situation where she can't look after her child. It's like, wow, man, where's the sympathy and respect for this guy? Why are you forcing? Oh, you've got electrical and plumbing knowledge. Okay, do you want to be a plumber? And I said to the lady, why would he want to be on the tools now? Help him find a job that he can do from 70 to 90. He's got a granddaughter to look after. And he looked at me like, thank you. It's like, where's the respect, man? They don't care. They don't even understand. But the one good thing about about that workshop was that seeing that therapist, and I had a big long chat with him, because I thought, you know what, if I'm going to get something out of this workshop, I'm going to get a good long session with the paid for therapist for our work related issues. And I just said, everywhere I go, I do treat the job like it's my own company. I have real high work ethics, but I've got so many injuries. I can't just work for anyone. I also need to be treated with respect and honour. My self-standards have gone up. I really care about the customers. Hello, darling. And they're beautiful, aren't they? And then I'll just show you. Self-love is the issue. Can you see them in the tree? Can you see her? Oh, I think it's a him, actually. Feed him every morning. Hello? Hello? You going to sing? You going to sing? No. You going to sing for us? Yes. Gone camera shy. There's 4 or 5 that come every morning. He's gone a bit shy. Anyways, I just want to say that this love being mistaken as, kindness being mistaken as a weakness. Something that this lady in this article was talking about, how a lot of people misinterpret love as weakness, and they go, oh, kindness is weakness, and they misinterpret kindness and integrity as, oh, what's your ulterior motive? What are you trying to get out of this? Because, there he's going. Beautiful, hey? Yeah. It's so heartbreaking. So when you're a worker with high integrity, they're suspicious of you, because hardly anyone's got work ethics. It's pathetic. Yeah, welcome to the world being a human. It's pathetic, man. The best workers out there can't get work or can't get treated properly in their work environment because there's so many bodgy, inefficient, lazy workers out there, and that's the norm. That's the norm. It's pathetic. And the worst thing is, what I really don't like, what I'm finding really hard, is when you're kind to a person, they either take advantage of it, absolutely take advantage of it, see what they can get from it, and I can't imagine why anyone would want to do that. And then they start to they start to get fear around it. Like, what's the ulterior motive? What do I have to look for? Where, rather than seeing the joy and the beauty of it and being in the moment of receiving the kindness, receiving the love, receiving the compassion, receiving the care, rather than receiving in self-worth, self-love, appreciation. It's like, oh, hang on a minute. There's something, this is unusual. People aren't usually this kind or this loving or this compassionate. There's another reason for this happening. I'm being tricked here. I'm being manipulated here. Oh, where am I being manipulated? Oh, I better look around for where I'm being manipulated. And it seems to be something that I've noticed a lot of people do. They just go, there must be an ulterior motive here somewhere. What is it? What is it? There's got to be something, because people aren't just kind for nothing. people aren't just loving for nothing. No, no, no. There's another reason for this. It's like, yeah. And then when you're someone like me who fucking loves with your heart and soul, I'll tell you what, life is like so hard. It's so cruel. It does your head in. And it's so hard to have really deep, I need to rephrase that. When one gets to a point where they've always been a loving, kind, generous person, and elements of toxic empathy in that, like toxic elements of being a people pleaser and a over compromiser because of, yes, low boundaries. Yes, as I've shared with you all, I've learnt that a lot of people who have grown up without boundaries and love and kindness can develop this thing called toxic empathy, where they need to be of use, they need to be of service. It's like their identity, it's almost like being a martyr, like their identity is correlated with, they want to take the pain away from the world, they want to do for the world what wasn't done for them. It's like, okay, so if you need something, if the most generous people are the poorest people, someone who knows what it's like to go without will give the maximum of what they can give to help someone else out, because they know what it's like to not have. Someone who hasn't had love or kindness or safety growing up, not everyone, okay, not everyone, we're really generalizing here. Well, we're talking about me and other people like me. I'm just getting a bit hot now. People who have grown up, but as I shared with you all a while ago, that I realised I'm not as damaged as people that grew up with maliciousness. There are people that grow up with malicious parents, malicious siblings, family members, whatever. People deliberately going out of their way to control and rah, rah. I didn't actually have that issue. I just grew up with inept, neglectful parents and unable to give the bare basics. And, well, obviously my father did a lot more than not give the bare basics. But, as I said in my last YouTube channel, I've just come to a place of such understanding, forgiveness, but that he was just coming from a place of being so, he was a perpetrator, he was a victim of perpetration, acting out. And a lot of people do that. And last year I went into that real dark perpetrated. I got so deranged, so damaged, so hurt, so exhausted, so tired that so exhausted, so betrayed, so deceived. I went to a place of emotional despair and insanity because my heart was just so deeply broken to the core. Don't even know if you can see me because I can't see the screen now. It's quite sunny out here. I've discussed this all to the nth degree, but yeah, so broken, fragmented. Every part of my brain and consciousness and heart, I was a broken mess. Broken. Absolutely ripped to pieces, broken from the tragedy of being so unvalued, unseen, unsupported, unloved, truly giving what I thought. I can't, it's the words to describe this are so difficult, and I know that there's so many of you out there that feel the same way. You go, wow, my capacity for love is so huge. I just want to feel that same love come back. I want to be loved the same way I love. Is there a single person in this, apart from God? Obviously God loves us completely, but like a human being, is there any human being out there that can love to the capacity of how I can love? Be as considerate and caring and kind and wanting to be of service and just to be there to make that person's life amazing. Just give them everything to make sure life is amazing, so that together life can be shared, so together life can be amazing. And I'm talking about intimate relationships, like romantic, like husband-wife relationships. I'm talking about if you're in a non-marital lover situation. I'm talking about friendships, siblings. There are a lot of people out there that have a huge capacity to love. And then where does that come from? Does it come from that we had a huge capacity to love ourselves? Where did that come from? This is all the stuff I've been learning. So I've come to realize my high integrity, my ability to really be upset, wanting to do big things for the world and just be so, give to the world, be of service to the world, do God, be a blessing, be a vessel of God's will, to be doing God's will for the world. I know that that is because I've been loving myself so deeply, emotional intelligence from such an early age, because I had this capacity to, the emotional IQ. It's got to be something to do with emotional intelligence. I was feeling my feelings at a really young age, so I could identify my feelings. I didn't know, I couldn't name a feeling, but at least I was exploring the feeling. So that, and I realised now I was looking for what I needed. I didn't just accept the status quo. So if something wasn't right, I would look elsewhere. So for example, growing up in a commune was amazing, because if my mother was lacking in her ability, because very likely being on the autism spectrum, there was other adults on the community that could teach me how to cook or how to brush my hair, or and I realised, as I've shared with you all before, that process of me going to nature. So when I was so young, looking up to Father Sky, always Father Sky, Mother Earth, and going to nature above people, and taking my relationship with my emotional well-being away from human beings and taking it to the world of nature. I realised that one of my really good friends and I discussed this about 10 years ago. We actually ascertained this as one of my biggest reasons for being so exceptional. Like, she goes, well, how is it that you have this ability to see the world as it is and to look beyond superficial dynamics and see what's really going on, and or to even charge dynamics. And I said to her, maybe it's because I don't put much value in humans. I've never really put much value or stock in humans. I'm one of these people, I see someone in uniform, it's just a person in uniform. I don't bow down to authority. Like, that's a person just in a piece of clothing. Like, yeah, I've talked about this quite a few times. Where'd that come from? I just don't see humans as anything to. I love nature. And then now I'm loving God, because God, it makes sense. God makes more sense. Humans are just like, well, humans are just animals, right? And think about it this way: they are some of the most deranged, confused, primitive animals around, right? So, anyways, compassion, everyone. And the reason why I'm doing this YouTube live today is because I'm not lost, I'm not disheartened, I'm not demoralized, I'm not even really grieving that much, I'm not disgusted, I'm not even that exhausted. I'm just like, oh, what's the word? I'm not jaded. I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed in humans. I'm really disappointed in our society. It breaks my heart that people aren't stepping up, and that people aren't even believing that they have the ability and right to strive for more, or that they are living in fear so much that they don't even trust love or kindness. Oh, and if someone has a dream, that they feel like they've got to squash it. Like, oh, do not dare someone dream about traveling and, bringing musical joy to the world, or bringing your amazing art into the world, or how dare you feel like you've got the right to speak or write and get it out there? Who do you think wants to listen to you? Like, what do you think you've got to say that's of value? We all have an innate gift. We all have a godly innate gift that's actually our responsibility to honor. Yeah, when we honor that calling, that God's calling, and we're honoring, and this is where I'm really deflated a bit at the moment. So rather than disappoint, I probably should use the word deflated a little bit. There's a little bit of in there, but the balloon isn't soaring like it. I'm not soaring at the moment at all. I'm not soaring at all. I'm just like, oh, when you see a little balloon and it hasn't gone to the point where it's got no air. It's just that rubber thing that's just, when it's got like a little bit of air, it goes wrinkly. The rubber goes a bit wrinkly and you can squish it still. And the balloon rubber is quite soft because it's been stretched and it's gone soft. And at that point, the balloon can still bobble along the ground. And it actually can still fly in the air a little bit. Where that analogy doesn't work is you can't blow into the balloon to inflate it again. So what I was going to say is like that. That's how I feel, but I know I'm going to be inflated again. Oh, no, a ball. A ball that's lost all its air and it's got its little air pump hole, and the ball itself's gone quite flat, it's all pumpy. But you can push the air pump in and it inflates again. So yeah, I feel like a deflated ball at the moment. And imagine this. Imagine a beautiful bouncy ball like this, effervescent, super colourful, like really pretty. And I love balls. I just think balls are so cute. I used to buy them all the time for my kids. We had so many different types: the small tennis balls, the big soccer balls, ones with the little faces. I love all those games like soccer and netball-y type stuff, and just really love playing. I love being a mum. I loved when my kids were little. We used to play a lot, and but yeah, imagine like a deflated, those really fluffy tennis balls. They brought these big tennis balls. They're really big ones. So imagine a pink one with some different coloured spots, like teal green and I don't know, 3 or 4 different colours. So it's cute. It's spotty and it's cute. Big, fluffy, fun. And it's all a bit deflated, but it can just be pumped up again. So I haven't lost the puff in my sails or anything like that. It's just that, look at this beautiful day. Look at this beautiful, 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 beautiful day. And I'm like, I need to get out in the garden. I need to do stuff on the house. Heaps of house clean to do with having animals. The amount of house clean I have to do all the time. Washing to fold. Admin to do. It's just a huge list. And I've been struggling all day to, God, please, where do you want my focus to be? What do I do today? That's what I mean by deflated. Like the mojo. It's like such a weird feeling, everyone. It's like, and I'll tell you why I feel like this. I did a YouTube channel on this the other night, and it might have been misunderstood. So I was talking about the workshop, the job provider workshop, which is just a rort. But I was also talking about my Bible study group. And I spoke about it to the therapist as well. I said, I just want to go into deep philosophical talks. I'm really missing having intellectual philosophical talks. And the saddest thing is, my beautiful husband and I, we have the most amazing friendship. We were each other's best friends. Could talk about anything and everything. For hours. I used to choose to spend time with him over my other friends because I really enjoyed our conversations. I just really enjoyed our... He intellectually stimulated me. And very few people do that. So the truth of the matter is I'm just missing my beautiful husband so much today. Because he's my really long-term best friend and my rock for years. For years. We've been in each other's lives for years. And one of the reasons why we don't even have a friendship at the moment is because he's so fearful of love. He's so fearful of accepting that he's lovable. He finds it difficult to believe that he's worthy of my love. He doesn't trust it. He thinks he's being manipulated or tricked. Or he's going to lose his power or something. You can never lose your power with love. See, some people, why they call being loving and kind weak is because they think, oh, you're so vulnerable when you're loving. You're so vulnerable when you're kind. Yeah, because you care. That's what people are so scared of. That when you're really loving, when you go into that heart space and you're really loving, and when you're a really kind, empathic, loving person, you're in your heart. And that's why things hurt. Like, it hurts me when I see people not living to their fullest potential or even trying to live to their fullest. That hurts me. That actually hurts me. That's why it's hard to be out in society a bit. And basically, it's just 52 minutes. Gee, it's easy to talk for a long time. I just feel like I just need to talk for hours, everyone. I just feel this therapy little talk, I did it just to use the opportunity, but I could tell that I wasn't going to go deep. My therapy sessions with that the trauma-informed Christian counsellor, I have one more session with her in 2 weeks. And I have this phone counselling session organised with this lady. But apart from that, I really don't really get to talk very often to people. That's part of what my YouTube's about. I don't really have anyone in my life that I can talk to just so openly, because I just find people are so vanilla and superficial. And I'm so mindful. I don't want to go into depths of conversations that they can't handle or cope. And I've got this beautiful friend, her name's Katya. We're long-term friends. We've had a few falling outs and we're just closer and closer. We're getting closer and closer all the time because we keep resolving issues. And one of the issues we have resolved is the difference in our mental capacity for information. So we've accepted that that's an ongoing thing. Just work with what we have, and it's beautiful. It's the same with my other friend Desiree. We've got this amazing friendship, and it's within certain areas that we can have these amazing conversations in certain areas. My beautiful neighbour Anita, same, amazing conversations within areas that I just can't just go to anyone except for, so far, or I've known this for years and years and years, the one person that I could just go just speak anything. We could just discuss any topic. My one true best friend is my beautiful, beautiful friend who became my husband. really miss our friendship, hey? And we, it's crazy, isn't it, when you, um, I don't know. I decided to do this YouTube channel today because I know that other people feel like me. Yeah, you spend a lot of time alone. You'd rather be alone than have superficial communications. Maybe others of you have a really deep relationship with God like I do. I talk to God a lot. So my two animals, the three animals, the two dogs, the cat, and God and me, and the angels and the birds. And telepathically, my husband, who's my beloved, who's having a self-healing journey at the present. We telepathically communicate, and that's fine to a degree. It's alright, like, I'm not unhappy about it. It's been like that for so long. Like, way before we even got married. It's been this most craziest dynamic. Discussed this a lot in my previous YouTube channels and also my Facebook lives, so don't, if you want details, go back, look at it all. It's been this ongoing learning, and that's why it's taken me to that pathway of learning about God ordains people. God ordains marriages. God ordains relationships, and there's another word for it, which is twin flame. But the problem with the twin flame jargon is that it's been romanticised and mainstreamified and turned into something that's not. The twin flame journey is excruciating. It's the two souls coming together to heal themselves completely, to be the true soul, to let go of all the egoic stances, which is excruciating. Like, ego death is excruciating. Learning who you are not and letting go of who you are not, actually, yes, it's liberating, but it's also very isolating. It takes you away from the norm. It takes you away from the common. It takes you away from the planet Earth in the 3D almost becomes unbearable. There's such density on planet Earth. I'm just speaking about the negatives at the moment. The low density 3D, there is a lot of heavy, dark stuff going on, and you can see it everywhere. Like, you see it in relationships with people, you see it between parents and children. My Bible study group, I'm not saying it's low density, but so surface level. It's just surface level. It's like, why can't we go deeper? Why can't we go deeper in these discussions around God? Why can't we have proper philosophical talks? And I know exactly why we can't. These women wouldn't handle it. If they went too deep, it would unravel them. This is why people don't like honest people like me. Like I'm a narcissist's worst nightmare, because narcissists live on just, lies and deceivement and manipulation and stealth little plans, calculated little plans. They don't want anything being disrupted. I just basically put my foot in my mouth all the time. I say things all the time. It's so cute, because lately when I say something, I go, oops, I say, okay, so this is what I did the other day. I said something the other day. I'm so raw and authentic, and I just say what I feel needs to be said. I feel like I'm quite respectful. I mean, obviously we all make mistakes. We all have our moments. We all fall into deep, dark stuff, and we all go into moments of, well, not everyone. Some vanilla people don't allow it to happen. They squash it down till they have some cancer or something. But overall, I'm generally mindful of of what I say, how I am, when I'm around, and I over edit myself. I'm around and I do this and I act a certain way to try to fit into society, right? And I've known for a long time I'm highly intellectual. I've known for a long time that my intellect is way, way. I don't want to use the word superior, but my ability to see things, understand things, is really next level. And I realise a lot of people that they can't comprehend what I'm saying sometimes. And I was like, oh, you poor little soul, but I don't do it with pity. It's like, oof. And I think, well, no wonder your life's so simple. At least you don't have tragedy. Pros and cons to everything, right? So one of the cons to being like me is that life is much harder because I can't just do the even kill superficial stuff. I just can't. I don't have the ability to. I can't. I'd love to sometimes. Gosh, I'd love to, but I just can't. But yeah, the other day I said something that was slightly oops-a-daisies, and that's all I did. I went, oops-a-daisies, that was just a bit too much, wasn't it? And the person looked at me and I said, sorry about that. Sometimes words come out too fast. Just immediately everyone in the room went, whew, that's okay then. And I realised that's all I have to do. Is if I keep putting my foot, I'll just keep speaking. That's why this YouTube channel is teaching me to speak. It's teaching me to share. It's teaching me to have confidence in myself. It's teaching me that I'm important and worthy and of value. I've had a lot of people not really, they try to diminish my strengths or try to diminish my gifts. And my beloved is one of those people, unfortunately. However, that was him and his fear attacking what about me he found threatening, which was my light. And he didn't, at that point, have enough faith and trust that I'm a genuine, authentic, truly loving, truly kind person, because he hasn't actually been around anyone like me before. He's never experienced true authenticity or true love or true kindness. So it was like another. He didn't understand it. He completely was looking for the barb, or looking for the hidden agenda, or looking for where was he being controlled, manipulated. Nowhere, mate. You're just being loved. You're just being supported and loved. And it's taken me a while to realise that his level of pain is actually higher than mine. It's been mind-blowing. That's why God wanted me to see that. I've really had to see what it's like for someone to grow up around narcissistic energy, narcissistic family, and in dominating abusive institutionalised environments, which is something I've never had. I've never had that. I grew up in the bush. I was free, highly neglected, free, never controlled, never manipulated. I mean, when I was a child, I was being groomed. My father groomed me to be a PROSTITUTE. And that grooming was to be I was groomed. I was told that my worth was that of how much pleasure I gave another. So yes, my worth was based on the pleasure that another received from me. So yes, of course, that's had its ramifications. In saying that, I still think that's an easier abuse to work through than someone that doesn't even have an identity. They've never been allowed to make mistakes. They can't speak. If they speak, they're silenced and squashed down. They're constantly gaslighted all the time, told that their viewpoints aren't valid or real. Or we're not even going to go into that topic right now because I think I've discussed it a few times already, and wow, it's a big topic, but we are going to discuss this a lot more in the future on this channel. We are going to discuss this because I realise, God, do you know how many victims of narcissistic abuse I have been meeting this last year and a half? I'll share this with you. My neighbour and I were having this discussion one day, and I said to her, your viewpoints on this, and this, and this, debate, or, respond. Like that's how you write with an essay. You go, and then it goes respond. Or, I think all you go to uni know what I mean. They do the brief of what the essay's about, then they go critique. respond, just one word. And then I just said to my neighbour the other day, did a lot of thoughts. That's what I say a lot. I go, and I go, thoughts? Like say, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And she goes, did a lot of, I went, wow, I had a revelation. I said, wow, 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 I just had a revelation. You think and feel the same way about these different things, these different situations as I do. And all these other people that actually respond to it, react to it, feel about, they have all had narcissistically abusive upbringings. And I said, okay, so I'm coming to realise that those with narcissistically abusive upbringings grow up to be and then I started doing some research on it. And there's all these people doing amazing research on this topic. It's just mind-blowing and it is excruciating. And there's this one lady and she said one text message from a narcissistic sibling, one text message or one tone, one word in one tone can undo months and months and months or even years of self-development work from the narcissistically abused person. They're called the scapegoat, the black sheep of the family or the scapegoat. One text message or one tone is enough. And I am a complete and utter witness to this because my beautiful husband and I had the most wonderful, amazing marriage when we were both in our heart. One of the most exquisite love affairs of this world. Like true twin flame union in the 5D when we're both in our heart is exquisite. It's just beyond exquisite. It's mind-blowing. It's just that words can't describe it. And the more you look into twin flame love, you'll actually realise that they all say the same thing. It's just a love that you cannot describe. It's such a true, intense, magical love. It's just magical beyond belief. It's the purest of love you could ever imagine. Yet I would always know when he'd received a text message or a phone call from one of his siblings. And then I came to realise that there's this person that he had the unfortunate experience of conceiving children with and then had this ridiculous karmic, really demonic karmic tie with to this that is still healing right now. And I got to a point where I could pick it. Not just because of how nasty he'd become to me, how scathing he'd become to me, but because his language would change, his face changed, his voice changed, and he also started saying things. And I went, as he'd say something, I go, sounds like dude head, butt fluff, sounds like little butt fluff's comment. Sounds like that his exact words. Okay, rote for rote, just repeating what someone said to you. And I always knew if it was butt fluff or vanilla head or sour puss. I've got all these names for these people. But actually the bottom line is they're all really damaged, hurt people. But they are the most damaged, hurt people. So I pray for them. I have a lot of compassion for how evil, that you can only get that evil if you're really hurt. You've got to be so damaged to be that evil. So damaged and so in fear to not want to heal it and come into a place of love. However, I came to realise that every time, and now I know why, this lady, I've forgotten her name, Tammy, I posted some of her YouTube. Actually, I don't know if they're sharing onto my YouTube or not, but I posted some of her articles that I just found so fascinating. Gee, she's amazing. And she was a scapegoat in a narcissistic family. So she's talking from experience. She said one text message is enough to just take them straight back into that world of fear. That undo everything, any good they've done, takes them straight back into being controlled and into that dynamic. So that was really, that was just quite alarming. But it's all right because I realise it's part of what I've had to experience. It's what God's wanted me to experience and heal. There's so much healing to be done on this planet. So much healing. And I was always told I'm here to help heal the planet. That's one of my reasons for being alive. I'm here to help heal the planet. I'm here to help teach. I got told that when I was 3. That's what this YouTube channel is about. It's the beginning of much bigger things, and they don't have to be huge. It's like I'm one of these people. I like to actually be in the background more. Like I like to help someone else be in the light. I don't necessarily need or want to be in the limelight. So it was a big deal to set up a YouTube channel. And anyway, YouTube channel for me is just an electronic, worldly journal. I'm sharing with the world because God told me to, or guided me to, not told me to. It was a suggestion, of course. And as I shared with you earlier, I am really quite lonely. I really don't have many people to talk to. Like, obviously, I pray a lot. I talk to trees a lot, and the sky and my animals, and I'm not really living up to the full what I'm supposed to be doing, what God's really wanted me to do just yet, which upsets me. I'm just still got this deflated thing going on, this ego-based deflatedness going on. I don't know if you can see my eyes. I have aged about 10 years just in 8 months. I've aged. I have aged so much, eh? So it's a very harrowing experience, being broken to the core of your being, being fragmented. Like every element of my being is being fragmented and then piece by piece getting rebuilt in the glory of God to do God's bidding and God's will. So I do keep getting affirmations and not affirmations, wrong word, confirmation that this is my time to restore. I will repeat what that means. I talked about ages ago and did it at Bible study, and talked about it with my therapist as well. It's a process of replenishing myself. My body is so broken. My mind is so broken. It's been a really hard life, everyone. It's been a really hard life. This Nadina life has been a really hard life. And the buoyancy, that buoyant, you know when a ball bounces, it's got to have buoyancy. It's really hard to keep that buoyancy. This is why when the therapist said that geniuses have tragic lives, this is the tragic part. This is the tragic part. Like, someone else could wake up and have this feeling and go out and have a coffee with a friend, or go out and do some shopping, or watch some TV, or smoke a cigarette, or maybe they've got a project like sewing, or worse yet, they go on antidepressants or some sort of number. Do you know that I have a script for this thing called quetiapine? I've got it in the house right now. If I take it within half an hour, I can't hardly talk. I'm completely like oh, so relaxed. Just makes me completely relaxed. And I don't take it. I mean, it's there. Only because I thought, well, I've got the script for it. Might as well have it there in case I have too many nights in a row where I can't sleep. But I'd rather go through those sleepless nights. I mean, sorry, when I first started taking it, I wasn't sleeping or eating. So now I am sleeping well, and I'm not all night, but I'm eating and I'm sleeping enough. It's just a time of, and there's a download going on. I don't know if any of you know what download means, but it's like So this high-pitched ringing in my ear isn't just tinnitus. If you go to the 5D esoterical world, it's actually I'm getting downloaded. My DNA is being recoded. So we've got all these light frequencies, these really high density light frequencies penetrating planet Earth since I think it was mid 2019. That's why a lot of people now get a lot of migraines, headaches, tinnitus. So with this high pitched hearing, I'm grateful for it because I think, wow, I must be getting a lot of downloads, and that DNA reactivation actually enables me to be a light worker, light bearer, and a light worker, and it enables me to step up. I'm being rebuilt. Just think of it on a whole cellular level. I'm just being rebuilt. It's huge. And for those of you going back to the love, kindness, compassion being a superpower, that going into the heart, that living from the heart, that going into the heart, like out of the mind and into the heart, that is where the healing happens for us to move into our superpowers and it's not an easy life. Like, I'm not saying that your life's going to all of a sudden be amazing because you decide to live from your heart. In fact, if anything, it probably becomes harder. But it's more joyful, more worthwhile, it's more real, it's more rewarding. It's a life well lived. So there's this saying, you can exist or you can live. A lot of people just exist. Do you want to live or do you want to exist? Like, so living involves the ups and the downs, the dark and the light. Being in the heart involves the pain and the joy. Because with all these pains that you see me share, the joys that I feel on a regular level. Like, I'm going to be taking my dogs for my beloveds and my beautiful fur babies who are now adolescents, they're now teenagers. They're going to, when I walk along the river, I'm just in heaven. And their faces, they're so happy. It's joyful. I'll just show you my view again. It's just such a joyful day. Look at this. Look how pretty it is. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And that's the destruction. That's actually it's actually that bed, that David that set me on edge. But anyways, everyone, I don't know if I shared anything that had a gem in it today. Just that process of being, the tragedy of being highly intelligent is that we don't belong. We don't really belong as easy. However, our tribe, we will find our tribe. Our tribe does come to us. We're not always going to be this isolated. That's one of the beauties of also YouTube channeling. Your tribe comes to you if you reach out more by being brave and going back to the authentic relationships. When you have a truly authentic relationship with someone, you have your times of separation for the people to learn what they've got to learn on their own, and then they come back together and they rebuild. They rebuild. It's not like, and what else do I say on that? Just that faith, just that surrendering process, just that you can feel deflated like this. Just always believe the air pump's coming. Yeah! How's that for an analogy? The air pump's coming. The air pump's coming to pump up the ball again, and then then you bounce. And and not just bounce. That bouncing brings so much joy to others, and it's such a wonderful feeling just bouncing along. It's just the best. I like that a lot, everyone. My joys are so high and they're so authentic. They're so authentic. And in my times of darkness and despair, which I would say today I was, the deflatedness is that, like, it's okay. We're just human. We're just human. And yeah, just have faith, everyone. Just have faith in God's divine plan. And if anyone isn't being truly authentic with themselves, I urge you to. This is what will heal the world. Being authentic within yourself. And trust me, what actually happens for me is when I go around the world, when I go about my daily business, I'm such a ripple of joy. I'm like an angel of love. So everywhere I go, not all the time, sometimes my energy is really low, and obviously it's a different dynamic. Most of the time, wherever I go, I'm bringing joy, quirkiness, joy, chirpiness, chirp, 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 like a little sparrow, like a little chirp, 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 chirp. And what I have been discovering the older I get is that people love it. They flock to me. They flock to me. They love my energy. They need my energy. They're craving that chirpy quirkiness. They're craving that magical, playful, childish, like, this is who I am. I'm not going to pretend to be something just to belong and be accepted. This is just who I am. This is just who I am. So the other day I was doing something and I said, I can't remember, sorry, exactly what I said. I don't think that's irrelevant, but my energy was like, I was out and about doing stuff in the northern town, and I was in the most high vibrational, high energy. I was basically skipping. I was so happy. And I'm like, da-di-da-di-da, like a little 9-year-old or something, da-di-da-di-da, just really playful, really chirpy. I'm just going to have to use the word super cute. It must have been adorable to watch. I mean, some people looked at it and gone, who's that crazy? All those retentive people that have to be prim and proper and act a certain way and be a certain way, or they're never going to be accepted, or those uptight people. Those people were probably going, oh, look at that crazy person. Do I care? No, because I feel sad and sorry for their uptightness, that they can't even loosen up a little bit. So I was just being jolly and chirpy and quite cute, and I could feel it. I could feel that there was something in me that was really childish, but at the same time I was being elegant. I was serene. I was looking really nice. I was dressed up. I can't remember why I was dressed up. But anyways, I was dressed up. I looked elegant. I looked mature, but acting childish, like as in my smile, my energy. And everywhere I went, I didn't have to say anything. People were just beaming smiles at me. Like all those people, I didn't see them. I didn't actually see them. I know. I didn't care. They weren't even in my thoughts. I'm just bringing that to your attention for this YouTube. That obviously there would have been someone going, "Oh, look at her," being a bit like, But all I remember from that day is everywhere I went, all I got was these beaming smiles. And then I even had people put their hands out to me. And I even grabbed their hands. I said, and how are you today, madame? Or how are you today, sir? Are you enjoying this lovely day? What a gorgeous day. Isn't Northern beautiful? Are we not blessed? How blessed are we? That type of energy. It was beautiful. And I've been doing this more and more and more and more and more in complete confidence, because what's the beautiful thing about this northern country town that I live in is that everyone here I've met so far is authentic and transparent. I mean, we have people that drive up to work here. There's a lot of people here that don't live here. This town this is why my beautiful love and I chose Northern, because it was in the when the second lockdown happened and people were wearing masks here, there and everywhere, and I refused to wear them. He would at times, but I refused. But when we came up here, no one was wearing masks. We were in a camper van, and we got treated like, hello, welcome to our town. We went to some other country towns and go, what are you doing here? Traveller in your camper van, get out of here. They didn't say that to us, but that was their energy. What are you doing? They're looking at suspicious. Ugh. But with Northern, I was like, hey, hello, oh, cute little van. And I was sitting this lady goes, oh, cute little van, rah, because we have this most adorable camping van, which we haven't yet actually gone had a proper holiday in or actually done anything really fun. Our anniversary. At first, that wedding anniversary was the only time we've actually used it for more than one night. The rest of the other time, it's just one night when we're looking for properties. But really, we haven't actually travelled in it yet. It's so sad. It's a bit of a travesty, but it will happen. I asked if we could go somewhere last June for my birthday, but he didn't want to, which I found really heartbreaking. That was actually the beginning of my depression. So we really needed an adventure. Still haven't had a real long-term adventure in that van. The dogs are getting more and more trained so that they can be at camping grounds and picnic spots and stuff, because I'm training the dogs to be around people, around food. You know, very you sit and you stay, especially around food. Lay down. No jumping on tables, that sort of thing. But and getting used to cars and blah blah. What was I going to say about all this? The chirpiness. Wow. Tell you what, when you're truly your authentic being, and you show your true essence, what it does is it heals the world, because all these people, especially with this political correctness craziness that's going on, people are too scared to even say, I'm a woman, I'm a man. People are too scared to even talk about base topics like that. Like, you're not even allowed to say, I'm a woman. Like, apparently that's illegal to say, I am a woman. Like, as if. Anyways, the point of the story is being chirpy and quirky. It brings a real joy. Not being chirpy and quirky, because that might not be your bit. I'm chirpy and quirky. I'm so chirpy and quirky. It's and cute and funny, and I am funny. I know all these things about me, and I'm just honouring it in my. And I don't necessarily have to be around a group of friends now to be like that. I just am like that wherever I go, because I spend so much time alone. So why not just be like that, right? And if I just have a small interaction with someone for about 5 minutes, and that's my contact with humans for the day, well then so be it. Let it at least be high quality, fun contact. So what's my point in all this? Oh yes, and the deep, long-lasting relationships I have. Oh wow, when I'm with my good friends and people who we really love each other, well, then we can really play. Then it gets really, really fun. And with these people, they've all seen my darkness. They've all seen what you saw today and more, and I've seen theirs and more. And that's just the truth of it, the authenticity of it all. And that's what heals the planet, when everyone just bees their true, authentic being. And quite a few of my long-term friends have said to me, it's through me that they've learned how to truly honour themselves. And I guess that's what God wanted me to do. That's the angel love energy, that, through my example of me showing me being authentic and, who I am, taking the wrath, because I've been scapegoated a lot. People try to make out that I'm the villain, and they'll even go so far as lie, like really lie. Like outrageous lying, and do collusions around the line, because they've got to try to squish that authentic chirpiness so much. They've got to squash that authentic being. We can't have authenticity around here. Everything's got to stay superficial. We've got to all stay in the world of fear. No. You guys come out of that world of fear. You come out of that world of fear, and you come into the world of love. You come into the stance of being in your heart and living, the fruits of godly spirits. Just step up. It's a beautiful place to be. It's a wonderful place to be. Anyways, that's my rant for today. And so it's getting on to the afternoon, and I really haven't done anything productive today yet, but at least I've shared with you the slump, the deflation that goes through, and my YouTube channel is one of that. So the first thing I'll probably do right now, just take the dogs for a walk. This is little Zena Beaner laying in the sun. Take the dogs for a walk. And that way, when she goes in the water today, she'll dry when we come back. Oh, and I've got to work out what we're going to do for wood. We don't, got a little bit of wood for tonight's fire, so it's going to be cold here tonight. So I've got to be mindful that very, very soon it's going to be very, very, very cold. And it means like we go to bed really early, or yeah, I've got to be really mindful of that. Yeah, it's been, yeah, look at little darling one. Yeah, yep, fire. I think that's the only thing I really need to focus on, make sure we've got warmth tonight. And I will deal with this horrible, horrible mess yet again of Alvin. He's still outside. Hey, he knows he's in trouble. He's been, normally he'd come around me, but he just knows I'm so tired of his destruction. He knows. So I'll take them for a walk, come back, focus on working out how to get enough wood for tonight's fire. And then fold some clothes, I guess. And then tomorrow's church. Woohoo! Okay, I'll leave it at that. God bless. Not sure what gems you're going to get from today, but I shared with you anyways. All right, lots of love. God bless. Keep well. Be authentic. Keep being authentic. Heart stance. Heart stance. Heart stance. Trust me. It's worth the risk. Life's way better living rather than just existing. Okay, love you. Bye. Keep well.